Hi everyone! For this project we are going to be making a monogram painting. So you want to think about the first initial of your first name or the first initial of your last name for this project. I'm going to walk you through the steps and how to organize your dots, and I hope you have a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what you create. Before we get started, you want to make sure that your letter is nice and large on your paper so you have plenty of room to fill in with dots later. Your wide letters, so like an M, you'll probably want your paper to be landscape style. If you're going to have a taller letter like an A or an S, then you probably want portrait style for your paper. Here's an easy way I like to create bubble letters, but it's up to you how you like to do this. I like to create a bubble around my line drawing of my letter. You can do this with any letter, and don't worry about making your line perfect. We're just going to sketch in pencil first. You can also play around with different shapes, so maybe making a flat top to your letter or a pointed top to your letter. It's all up to you and how you want your letter to look. Now we're ready to get started with paint. I'm going to be using a Q-tip for this, but you could always use the back of a paintbrush or even the back of a pencil where the eraser is. It's up to you, get creative. I want to start with my lightest color first and start adding my dots. So being really careful and holding my Q-tip vertically, I'm going to be dipping into the paint and adding in my dots. You'll notice that I am leaving space. This is because I want to make sure there's room for other colors later on. When adding your other color, it's important not to overlap if the yellow is still wet. Now, start getting creative. Add some white to your colors, mix your colors. Just make sure that when you're adding your dots, you're not going directly on top of an area that's already wet. It may look like I'm just adding dots randomly, but I'm trying to be really organized and careful that I'm placing them next to where they make sense. So if I see a lot of purple in one area, I'm going to move on to an area that needs a little more. Once my painting is dry, I can always hold it up to the light and see if it's shiny. That means it's still wet. But once it's dry, I can erase the outside of my letter where I can still see pencil. If you would like to add a background, what you could do is choose your favorite color and add just a few dots into the background. You don't want to add too many because then it'll be really hard to see your letter. Once you are all finished, it's time to clean up. Place your Q-tips on top of your plate and you can throw your whole paper plate and Q-tips in the trash. I hope you had a lot of fun and I can't wait to see what you've made.